Hi, this is Paul Carr. I would like you to entertain conjecture of something over there in that big blank space next to me. Down there, there. Mostly human heads, all of which can talk. One of those heads could easily be yours. Because what this is about is something called Wow Signal Live. Now, Wow Signal Live is derivative in some respects of the Unseen podcast that we did from 2015 to 2018, about 100 episodes. The Unseen podcast was supposed to be, and was, unscripted, like this video, unedited, and open participation. It was, in fact, all of those things. Wow Signal Live will only be one of them, which is unscripted. It will not be completely open participation. That is, people who want to participate can apply to be on a panel, but there'll be more of a vetting process and more preparation involved than for the Unseen podcast. Also, it will be edited, especially in the audio version that goes out in the audio feed, which will typically be mixed into the magazine format of a full episode, or maybe by itself a full episode if there's enough good discussion. And by good enough, I mean 40 minutes, something like that. Will typically run for an hour and a half to 2 hours in the live version. It will be unedited because it's live. It will go out via YouTube. The platform we're using is called Zoom. Zoom will feed into something called OBS, which you needn't worry yourself about. I'll deal with that. And then that goes out to YouTube live and also gets recorded. And that will be what the public will see on YouTube. And people getting the audio will just get an edited version of that. So in a sense, it is similar in a lot of ways to the Unseen podcast. But it will also, unlike the Unseen podcast, that was allowed to drift from topic to topic fairly freely, kind of like free jazz. This is going to be more like straight ahead. It's going to be, we're going to stick to the topic, and it's going to be very focused on typically one thing. And that thing will typically be a single scientific publication or result that will be under discussion by both people who are expert and people like me who are interested laymen. My area of expertise is pretty narrow. We won't be into that a whole lot on the show. It will focus on the things that Wow Signal primarily focuses on, which is the future of humanity, SETI, METI, things like that. If you know anything about the Wow Signal podcast, I think you know what we focus on. We did a lot of stuff on Tabby Star. We may still do some stuff on Tabby Star, and some of that could be in the Wow Signal Live, and other anomalous things out there in the universe. And the more anomalous they get, the better. We'll be on it. And of course, we'll talk about the Fermi Paradox, which will probably, right now, I'm thinking maybe the very first episode that we'll do of Wow Signal Live. So, while the plans are not exactly fixed, that could be you over there, and I will still be about this size. Lots of other ways, video or not video. So, and of course, and eventually we'll have a call-in capability that I haven't decided exactly how to implement that in a way that fits in the budget, but we can have people calling in and asking questions. Right now, if you want to ask a question, there'll be a way of raising your hand, and we will let you into the Zoom platform, unmute you. You can ask your question. You don't have to turn on your webcam if you don't want to. You don't have to use your real name if you don't want to. And then we'll discuss your question. I think that could be a lot of fun. And that might be the thing that's only on the live version or only on the YouTube version, and probably less of that in the audio feed. Anyway, I'd like to know what you think, and I would like, if you're interested in participating, please email me at wowsignalpodcast@gmail.com or contact me via Discord or lots of other ways. Many of you know how to contact me already. Twitter at Podcast Wow is another way. We have a Facebook page that doesn't get a lot of traffic, but you should feel free to go over there and comment on it or make a post. Say, hey, I think I'd be great on Wow Signal Live. I'm interested in XYZ. Here's my background, my knowledge. You don't have to be expert in anything, but interested in everything is probably, by all means, contact me, and we will I will start with the old crew from the Unseen Podcast and whittle that down to some people that I think are pretty reliable, and who will show up and be ready for the discussion, and then we'll add to the panel pool from there. And so some of the old familiar faces and voices from the Unseen Podcast will probably be on Wow Signal Live, but you will too, because you're thinking about it right now, and you've just about decided, yes, but what's in it for me? Well, there's no pay, and there's probably no fame and fortune at all. A very slight amount of notoriety, possibly. Bragging rights. Hey, I'm on a podcast on a regular basis. We'll talk about that next week. I don't know. Whatever. If you're interested if you have ideas and questions and interests, and you want to talk about them in public before hundreds, even thousands of people, this is for you. You can get your questions answered, maybe. You can at least get them asked, which may never have happened before. And that's what's in it for you. And we will have Patreon support. We do have Patreon supporters. Probably the best case scenario would be you would get a new microphone or something out of the Patreon funds. But we have other expenses we have to pay for as well. So hope to see you there. And you will be one of those guys or gals. It's coming soon, and I hope to do the first real one in February of 2020, and by the end of 2020 I hope to have done about half a dozen or so, and then it'll accelerate from there. And the more help I get, the more people interested in hosting and helping out with other logistical matters, the more it will become. How about you?